Silence is not merely the absence of words, it is the presence of depth. In a world that thrives on noise, distraction, and constant opinion, the power of silence is forgotten. Silence is not weakness. It is not ignorance. It is not fear. It is the discipline of restraint. When you choose silence, you step into a space where your thoughts settle, where your soul begins to whisper truths that the noise of the world hides. There is something sacred in stillness. Something divine in restraint. And when God teaches us the value of silence, He is not trying to hide the truth from us. He is preparing us to hear it more clearly. When you remain silent, especially in moments of anger or chaos, you protect your dignity. You preserve your energy. You maintain control. Words can inflame. Words can destroy. But silence is like a sword sheathed, strong, present, but wise enough not to be drawn recklessly. Silence is not about withdrawal from life. It is about learning how to engage with life from a position of calm. God reveals wisdom in quiet moments. And yet, we are too quick to fill every gap with noise. We speak to fill space, not to express substance. The wise man learns to resist that urge. When the storm is loud, silence becomes your fortress. It is in silence that you can reflect. It is in silence that you can hear your conscience. God doesn't always speak through thunder, sometimes, He whispers. If your life is too noisy, you will miss the whisper. And it's the whisper that holds the secret, not the scream. There is holy power in your ability to be quiet when everyone else demands a reaction. There is strength in waiting, in holding your ground, in watching rather than speaking. This isn't passivity, this is mastery. Most people are reactive. They hear something and reply. They are provoked and respond. But a wise person chooses their words with care. They understand that once words are spoken, they cannot be taken back. Silence gives you time to weigh your intentions, to question your ego, to analyze your emotions. If you speak from anger, you will regret. If you speak from pride, you will divide. But if you speak from silence, that deep, reflective silence, you will heal. You will guide. You will uplift. And sometimes, silence is the answer itself. You don't always have to defend yourself. You don't have to correct every lie. You don't have to respond to every insult. God defends the silent with more might than your loudest words ever could. There is a reason even the prophets withdrew to solitude before returning to their people. They understood the power of spiritual silence. When you go quiet, you start to hear things others miss. You begin to notice truth hiding beneath surface illusions. You begin to understand people, not just react to them. This is what gives you depth. Jordan Peterson often emphasizes the importance of listening before speaking, of thinking before reacting, of understanding before judging. These are all rooted in the practice of silence. When you're silent, you don't shut out the world, you open yourself to a deeper reality. You gain control over yourself. And once you have that control, no one else can manipulate you. You cannot be baited by their emotions. You cannot be enslaved by their drama. Silence is emotional discipline. Silence also teaches you how to speak. It sharpens your words. It helps you craft sentences that carry weight. If you've been silent, then when you speak, people will listen. Because your voice wasn't wasted on nonsense. You held it until it mattered. And that is power. Real power. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs more depth. It needs more thoughtfulness. It needs more people who are willing to pause before they speak. It needs more silence. Even in prayer, silence is powerful. When you talk to God, you express your heart. But when you are silent, you hear His. There are revelations that can only happen when your mind is still. When your mouth is closed. When your spirit is listening, God reveals himself to the quiet soul, the one who is not too busy impressing the world to hear the whisper of eternity. People today are afraid of silence. They fill their time with endless scrolling, background noise, constant conversation. But that's fear disguised as entertainment. Fear of facing oneself. Fear of discovering uncomfortable truths. But here's the irony. Until you face those truths, you can never change. You can never grow. Silence forces you to meet yourself. It strips away the distractions and confronts you with your reality. That confrontation is sacred. That is the moment when transformation begins. When you practice silence, you train your mind. You teach it discipline. You stop being a slave to your emotions and start becoming a master of your destiny. You don't just survive conversations. You lead them. You don't just respond to attacks. You rise above them. People who practice silence are the ones others turn to when things get serious. Because silence builds gravity. And gravity draws people in. God didn't design silence as an absence. He designed it as a presence. It is not empty. It is full of potential. Full of wisdom. Full of strength. If you want to know who you are, spend time in silence. If you want to know what to do next, get quiet. If you want to grow beyond your current limits, embrace the stillness. Everything you need to transform is hidden there. There's a kind of silence that is avoidance. That's not what we're talking about. That kind of silence hides truth, avoids conflict, denies responsibility. But the silence of strength is different. It is clear. It is aware. It is responsible. It does not avoid, it prepares. It does not deny, it reflects. And when the moment comes, it does not run. It speaks with fire. The silent man is not empty. He is full. Full of thought. Full of clarity. Full of purpose. He is not avoiding, he is building. He is preparing. He is absorbing. And when the time is right, his actions speak louder than any words. This kind of man, the one who knows how to be still, cannot be broken. Because he is grounded. He is focused. He has depth. And the world cannot shake a man who knows where his center is. When you choose silence, you are choosing to trust in a power beyond your own. You are trusting that not everything needs to be said. That some truths are better lived than spoken. That some battles are better won through peace. That some growth only happens in darkness, in stillness, in waiting. God uses silence to prepare you. And when he speaks, it is always after the silence. Even in relationships, silence can be healing. You don't always have to win the argument. You don't always have to prove your point. Sometimes, your silence is louder than any shout. It shows maturity. It shows peace. It shows that you are not at war with the world, because you are at peace within yourself. And that kind of person changes the atmosphere around them. Silence can save your reputation. It can protect your peace. It can strengthen your spirit. It can deepen your prayer life. It can sharpen your thinking. It can humble your ego. It can prepare your purpose. It can reveal your calling. It can magnify your power. Silence isn't an escape. It's a discipline. It is the language of depth. It is the shield of the wise. It is the doorway to God. In a world that screams for attention, be the one who listens. In a culture obsessed with opinions, be the one who understands. In a time of chaos, be the stillness. In the storm, be the eye. In the noise, be the silence. And when the time comes, speak, not to be heard, but to bring truth. Not to shout over others, but to pierce through illusion. And when you do, your words will carry the weight of silence. The holy power of silence. The silence that God taught you to honor. The silence that made you strong.